Good morning. This is January 17th, 2025, and we are 17 days into the new year. I am Dr. Denise Rollins, Executive Director of the Whole Heart Grief and Life Resource Center, and more important, I am your guide and co-participant in this 21 Days to Life program. 21 Days to Life means to living intentionally, fearlessly, and expectantly. We say that living is an action word, it is not a passive thing. We set intentions and we go for it. Intentional means I do it and I choose to do it. I don't let life just happen to me, but I set my intentions and I go after them. Fearless means I could be scared, but I'm not going to be guided and led by the fear. Instead, I'm going to overcome that and have the courage to try to put myself in new positions, to do things I've always dreamed of but never executed. And expectant is that I'm going to expect the good. You know, some of us have experienced so much pain and so much heartache that we brace ourselves for what's going to not go well. But we are saying in the Whole Heart Center that we're going to expect the good, not the bad. So, you know what? Today was a problem. We could not go live. We even tried to go Facebook Live. We've been going through YouTube and the Riverside program that we have, and Facebook Live would not work. And you know what? I said to myself, all right, that's not going to work. Let's get a message out to everybody. But I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to record a brief message for you. It won't be the same as when we're live and in person and connecting with each other. And also, we won't have that interaction, but what we will have is this idea that we're unstoppable. We're not going to let technology throw us to the side. We have these 21 days together and we are not losing day 17. So I want to talk to you today about the intention, that intention word in living fearlessly, living intentionally, fearlessly, and expectantly. That intention is so very important. So for some of us, we came into 2025 with a resolution. We said, this year I will. We already set those goals for ourselves and we said we're going to get this achieved by the end of the year. For others of us, we did that and or we decided that we were going to have a word for the year. And the whole idea behind picking a word for the year is that word manifests itself in our lives. I remember the very first year I did it, I chose the word manna, and I knew that it wasn't a word I chose. The word chose me because I always say I would never use that word in a sentence. But it was this idea that I just wanted to get my daily portion, not jump ahead a month, a day, even an hour, but just to take what I needed for this moment. And it was that year that I really created the heart of what Whole Heart became in terms of the models that we use. But I did it one day at a time. I'd wake up and it's like, oh, this is a piece of it. And before you knew it, it was a perfect, beautiful puzzle. And it was manna that led me to do that. So some of us came into this year and we said, this word is going to guide us. But you know, when you have a word, behind that is some kind of intention, behind that is some kind of goal. It's what we aspire to be, what's important to us. So we might have come in with a resolution, we might have come in with a word, or we may have in this 21-day process, we may have answered some questions and realized, wow, this is a goal for me. I didn't set out to do that, but yet, this is the direction I'm going to head in. I'll give you my own example that I came into this year knowing that every moment of every day in 2024, I was hustling and grinding and running and racing. And can I tell you that even when I say those words, there's no sense of peace in that because I was always doing, never being. And I remember at the end of the year, the speaker said he wrote the word ing/be and it's ingbe. And he's like, what is this? He said, we've got it mixed up. We are supposed to be being, but instead we're always action and we forget the be part. And it really just resonated with me. So I said, coming into this year, I don't want to be racing like that. I want to have a greater sense of peace and accomplishment. So that was there. And yet, when I picked my word for the year, I picked light. And when I say that there's a goal behind it, I keep saying, I want to look to the light. I want to reflect the light. I want to be light, not carrying the world on my shoulders. Well, there's the goal behind that is I want, for me, I'm a very spiritual being. I want to have a greater connection to my creator, period. Every year I want to have a closer connection, but this is the year that I really want to go across a hurdle that maybe has eluded me. And I feel like when I'm grinding and all of that, I'm not reflecting the light. I'm just reflecting, you got to do stuff. And so the goal behind it is I want to be closer to my creator. Another goal that I have is I want to reflect that, the peace, not the always mad or angry or upset all the time. I want to be something different, which is a reflection of my creator. But then also I want to just stop carrying the world on my shoulders. So if you see in that one word, there are three goals that I've left for myself. And then the third is, as I've gone through this process with you, because this isn't just for you, what I'm realizing is it's also for me. And so as I've answered the questions, what resonates in my spirit is I want to lead this organization that I birthed, Whole Heart, in such a way um, that I lead it differently so that we can achieve all of the things. What I realize is for 13 years, I've come out with these great goals for Whole Heart. But what has stopped us, the obstacle we faced, was me. Sometimes it was my lack of belief. Sometimes it was my lack of clarity and focus. Sometimes it was my lack of time. And if I know that every single year those three things hit me right in the gut, then this year I'm going to lead Whole Heart so that on an international basis, this organization can give the good stuff we have to everybody who needs it. This isn't about me. This isn't about ego. This is about if you are given a gift, if you're given tools, why would you hold that and hoard it? You've got to get it to the world. And the only way I can do that is to overcome me. So does that make sense? That we came in, there's a resolution. You might have gotten it from the word. And then the third is from this process. You might have had a goal that emerged for you. Well, yesterday I asked you to just look at where are you mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. And it was this idea that we are these complex beings. And I want you to look at all of those areas and say where I'm at now on a scale of 1 to 10, where I want to be by the end of the year, and then what it's going to look like if I achieve success. In my work that I've done, I always ask myself, what are you trying to do? So what? Why does it matter? And then now what? What will you do next? And so here's this idea that if I had all these goals that I started the year with, or I achieved, or I set because of this process, whatever it was, if I have this goal, I want to be able to look at that goal through the prism of those 5 areas that I had and say, okay, this is my goal. That's the what. Um, I want to look at it through the lens of those 5 areas, because in order for me to be light and to look to the light, I've got to be good mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, right? Got to be good in those areas. So what will happen is I want you to look at the goal. And so my goal, I don't want to focus on the light. I want to focus on what I need to do for Whole Heart. So what could happen out of that if you say, oh, Denise, you said mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and whatever the other fifth one was. So if I say I've got to do that now, I took this one goal and I made it 5 little goals, and I got to do this, and this. And if you're like me, you want to go from 7 to 10 in every single area. Oh my goodness, no, we're not going to do that. That's an obstacle. The obstacle is we are people of extremes. Either we have no goals and then we feel lethargic about that. Oh my God, what's going wrong? Or we have so many goals that at some point we look at the mountain and say, there is no way I can achieve all of that. So we let go of it. We are going to be people of balance in 2025. And the balance says, all right, Denise, I know I could be better in all of those 5 areas, but I'm going to choose one. And so I'm going to go back to the one goal that I want to focus on in 2025. I have a million little goals, but I just want to do one and focus on that and do it well. And that is lead Whole Heart to the place where it's supposed to be. And so when I take that one goal, now what I want to take is one of those areas, one area, and I'm going to choose finances. Because if we can't be financially sustainable, we can't help all the people that we are there to help. And so I know that I've got to, personally, what I wrote yesterday is that I'm at about, I think I'm a 5 financially, because I should have been doing way more than I'm doing now. And that's not me being hard on myself. That's me being realistic. So I want to go from a 5 to an 8. Now, most of y'all will be like, okay, you ain't got to jump that much. But for me, I do want to jump that much, and maybe you do too. But for financially, I want to go from a 5 to an 8. What does that look like? The answer that I had yesterday is that I have minimized debt and maximized income. Minimized debt and maximized income. And with the whole heart system, we say we were created that we will help people regardless of their ability to pay. But can I tell you this? There are a lot of people that we could help that have the ability to pay. So if we maximize the number of people that we help that have the ability to pay, that increased income will give us enough so that the people who don't have ability to pay, that cup flows over and it blesses them too. So that all leads to what I want you to do today. I want you to be really clear about what's the goal. Was it your resolution? Was it your word? Was it something that came up here? I want you to pick that one goal. What is the thing that you want to do as a result of this program or as a result of coming into 2025? This is a year that you definitely want to achieve blank. And you take that one goal, and I want you to take one of those aspects: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, financial, and pick one of those and say, what does that mean for that goal? Why is that area important to that goal? So that I say, at the end of the day, I'll be able to say that for whole heart, I want to lead us to the place that we're supposed to be. And I'm going to do so financially by maximizing our income and minimizing our debt. That's exactly what I want to do. So I'm asking you to really, I want to say it one more time, that I'm going to ask you to identify what's the goal. What's the goal for the rest of 2025 that you want to put your heart, soul, and hands around? Or I'll say your head, hand, and hearts around. What is that goal? So the goal that I'm going to focus on 2025, I can have little goals, but that big goal that I'm going to have is this. And when I look at it through the lens of one of those 5, this is why that area is important, and this is what I'm going to do. What? Your goal? So what? Why is it important in that area? And then now what? Why? What are you going to do with that goal in 2025? This is not about the way you word it. There's no perfect way to answer the question. It is just that I want you to look at the goal, focus on one of those areas of impact in our complexity, and then say, what am I going to do as a result of it? I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, reach out to us. If you got my number, text me, call me. If you don't, email me, or you can 866-393-5847 is the whole heart number. You can call it or text it, and we'll talk about it more a little bit tomorrow when we're live. I want to see ultimately the progress that you want to make in one of those areas that are important, because together we're going to do it, but we have to be able to articulate it first in order to be able to pursue it. All right. Today is the 17th day. We got day 18 tomorrow. We'll be live. We ain't going to let it mess us up tomorrow. But for now, we will pursue, and we'll do it the way that we can, the best way that we can. All right. You have a beautiful day today on purpose. Bye-bye.